Louisiana Association of Business President Steve Waguespack is with us. Steve, thanks for joining. You just heard Craig Fugay of FEMA saying, and I think it was echoed by the governor of Louisiana as well, that this would be a bad time for President Obama to come down there. He would distract, he would take resources, and right now they need all hands on deck trying to help and clear the area and restore order.
I disagree. The president needs to be here. The White House came out and they said, look, the president can't be everywhere, and I agreed. He can't, but he can be somewhere, and that somewhere is here. This is the biggest national tragedy that this country has had since Superstorm Sandy, and that's one part of the story. The other part of the story is the tremendous number of heroic actions that have been taking place day in, day out by the Louisiana people here. The president needs to come here, put a spotlight on those actions so the rest of the country can see just how this community is responding to this tragedy.
Steve, are you satisfied that the federal government is doing all it can quick enough, even without the president visiting there? I know Jay Johnson was there yesterday.
Look, there's been the presidential declaration. 20 parishes have been included in that. In those 20 parishes, there's 50,000 businesses, and there's about 600,000 employees. Most of those areas have been flooded, tremendous amount of homes displaced, tens of thousands of homes displaced. It's going to be a huge recovery, and so they are on the ground now, but this is going to be multiple weeks, multiple months. It's going to be a long-term commitment to make sure that we see the job through.
But they have so far responded, at least, we just had the head of FEMA on, and I do want to ask you because there's a lot of frustration because people are saying, wow, they didn't realize this. The max is 33,000. If you look historically, the numbers don't even match that. Superstorm Sandy, I think the average payout was maybe 9 or 10 grand, even less for Katrina. Is this the moment now for us to figure out a way that the government, the federal government, can come to the rescue of Americans in a more robust manner that gets them whole and gets them back on their feet rather than sort of a tourniquet?
Well, unfortunately here we have some experience with dealing with FEMA. This is our third presidential declaration in the last 6 months due to flooding. Obviously, we remember the tragedies of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita and Gustav and Ike. There have been a number of times that we've dealt with FEMA. So our people are war battle tested to deal with FEMA. So we understand the asset and the limitations it can provide. I think that's why you see the people here step up and take action on their own. That's why when the storm first hit, when it came to search and rescue, we didn't wait for the state or the feds to come tell us what to do. Our fishermen got in their own boats and they went save their friends and neighbors and total strangers. That's when the shelters weren't set up. Our citizens stepped up and they opened up their own shelter. They stocked it. They volunteered it with their own supplies. We don't wait for the state and we don't wait for the feds to come here. We actually take action on our own. We understand FEMA has its role. We also understand it has its clear limitations, and we know throughout the recovery we want them to be a good partner, but we can't depend on them to bring us back. We have to look in ourselves and bring it back ourselves.
Well, Steve, the rest of the nation has marveled and applaud what you guys have done. You're right. Unfortunately, you have experience at this, but you guys have stepped up to the plate, and we're all rooting for you, and hopefully, the best case scenario will evolve from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. By the way, folks, the Red Cross is accepting donations for flood victims. You can call 1-800-RED-CROSS or donate through their website. It's www.redcross.org.